Alright, so I'm going to make a video of how I repaired the rear trunk lid to an Acura RSX. This is one of the newer model RSXs. I believe it's an '05 RSX. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you guys will. You guys are great at that. But the issue that we were having, and I did a lot of research online, is that when you came back to the trunk, rear trunk, you could pull it about so far and you wouldn't get any release. It wouldn't open for you. And you would try and unlock it, you press the unlock button, and you'd hear everything working in there, but it still just wouldn't open. There is a little white unlock assembly right inside, right there. If you pull the cap off, there's a little white lever to manually open it, and that still won't work. I've seen some things online where people recommend just hitting the Acura symbol, and actually, believe it or not, that does work pretty well. If you just hit this really hard, sometimes it will open. So in my case, what I did is I did hit it really hard and I was able to get it to open once, but unfortunately as soon as I shut it again, it went right back to the half pull and you couldn't open it. So what I did, I ripped the whole entire interior part. Now I don't believe you're gonna have to do that. There's all the interior pieces down in there. And this is what our assembly looks like in here. And as you can see, as you pull on the trunk release, that little there's a lever that slides to the left, and that's actually what releases the mechanism. Now what happens is something really small can fall right inside here, and it will stop it from being able to move all the way over. And I'm going to show you the little piece, the little culprit that fell back in there, because as another feature of these RSXs, these rear deck lids were probably, one, in my opinion, poorly designed, and they had these little nubs that sat on here and then went into the plastic down here, and as you can see, it's just a seat, it's a through hole. And this little nub, what happened, at some point in time, somebody put something heavy on the stack lid and broke the little nubs here and the big chunk out over here, in which case the little nub came through the through hole and somehow managed to find its way all the way down into right here, and that's where it was sitting. So as you hit this really hard, you'd probably bounce that piece of plastic up so you could get it open once, but then it would settle right back down in there and you would be out of luck. You would not be able to open it again. So as you can see, what I did is I took all the paneling off in the back. Hopefully I could show you a way to do it without having to do that, but if you have to, there's really only 3 screws that you have to undo. One screw is right here. They're the down hooks to hold these, to hold the rear deck lid on the side. There's one underneath the little flaps of the hook. There's a screw on that side, screw on that side, and then there is another screw to hold the third piece right here. I can show you all that in a second. But the interesting thing is, all of them have a plastic sheath that goes right over the clip right here. Let's see if I can find that really quick. Alright, so they have this plastic sheath that slides right over the top, right like that. Now, interestingly enough, that plastic sheath covers this little access hole right here. So before you take all the paneling off, I would recommend that you just remove this plastic sheath, get a flashlight, and see if there's anything in there that's obstructing the view. This is, of course, after you've gotten it open. I know some people are like, well, how do I get it open to that point? I don't know. I honestly have no clue how you get it without just pounding the Acura symbol until it magically pops that one time and moves something loose. But yeah, try removing the sheath first. See if there's something there. If there is something there, you might be able to get like a long wire or something just to slide through this side and push it out over here, or maybe you can get some needle nose tweezers or pliers in there and be able to pull it out. that should solve your problem, and you should be able to get open. If not, unfortunately, you are going to have to take all the paneling off. You're going to have to start with the 2 trim pieces up here. It is going to take some muscle because they are held on with these little white clips here all the way across the way. And then here's a piece that I was talking about that hangs down right here. It has a little flap right here that pops open, if I can do it. I'm not really talented with one hand. Need to put the camera down. Wait, hold on. Use my fat stomach. Alright, there we go. Oh, well, there goes a screw. But it pops open, and there would be a screw in there if I was more talented. I think the screw hit the ground. Yes, it did. There would be a screw in there, and you would undo that screw. So 3 screws. So all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, some muscle, and then you'll be able to see this rear assembly back here in all its glory. And like I said, your part's going to be right down in there. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps somebody so that it solves the magic of just hitting the Acura symbol as hard as you possibly can to get your car to unlock, and hopefully save somebody a few $100 from taking it to the dealership only to have them tell you, oh yeah, your gearing assembly was broken or something, or you needed to lubricate something. Hopefully, you know, you can save some money and do it yourself that way. So there you go.